Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to take you through how to deconstruct these Wahl cordless clippers. One of the great things about Wahl is that they are very easy and simple to deconstruct. Why would you want to deconstruct your clippers? A couple of things. You may want to replace parts or exchange parts from one Wahl clipper to another. You also may want to deconstruct them to do a deep clean of your clippers for good sanitation practices as well. So you'll get to see that, and then you may also want to, for example, replace the battery with one of these or on these Wahl cordless clippers. One of the great things about Wahl is they've made this very easy to do, and you can actually buy the Wahl battery part. In the UK you can get it from, I believe, Barber Blades, I think Chris and Sons and other retailers, Capital Hair and Beauty as well, I believe. And it's actually quite easy to do. So firstly, to what I'm going to need in terms of tools to do this, obviously a screwdriver, and I've just got a standard Phillips bit for it. Sorry, you might not see, it's not in focus. Yeah, standard Phillips bit for the screwdriver. Need some oil to re-oil your blades after you've taken them off, cleaned them, re-oil them. A firm brush, a really firm bristle brush. You get these brushes generally in Wahl boxes and clipper boxes, but yeah, you want a nice firm brush to use. And then finally, I've got Cool Care, but you can use Barbicide or any other kind of clipper disinfectant as well. All right guys, so let's get into it. The first thing I'm going to show you is just how to remove the lids on these two clippers, as it is different for both of them. So let's start off with the Wahl Senior, as that's super easy. So we'll just get straight into it. Turn the ratchet the right way. Okay. So you just want to unscrew these three screws from the lid. Okay. Right, now once you've done that, you should be able to just pry the lid off. It can be a bit tough at the time sometimes, so I'm just gonna have to use a little bit of muscle. There we go, popped off. All right, and then that's the lid for the Wahl Senior off, just like that. So now with the magic clip, it is the same principle of the screws you need to unscrew, but what you have to do with the magic clip is you actually have to remove this piece just here, this like thumb guard piece. So you actually have to slide it off and it will pop off. And then once you've done that, you've now got access to the screw underneath, and you can now remove that. Okay. Now, one thing to note is don't mix up the screws between the Wahl Senior and the magic clip, as they're not exactly the same. So the two bottom screws are the same, but that screw on the magic clip in the top middle, that is actually a different screw to the one on the Wahl Senior. And I'll show you the difference in just a minute. Okay, so just to show you the difference in those screws, just try and get this one here. All right, so on the Wahl Senior, you have three of these rounded head screws, and then with the Wahl Magic Clip you have two rounded head screws and you have one flat head screw. I'm not sure if you can see it because it's quite small. I'll try and zoom in on it if I can. But yeah, you've got this small flat head screw, so that's the difference between the two. But yeah, once again, once you've got off those three screws, you want to pop the lid off, and there you are. Okay, so those are the lids off. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. And as you can see on both my clippers here, they are dirty. We've got some like hair in there that will need to get kind of brushed off and removed as well. Okay, so let's go further into breaking down these clippers. And I think what I will do, let's do the Wahl Senior first and remove all of the parts for that. Right, give me 1 second, just move these bits out of the way. All right, so got the lid off. Now I want to take off some other parts of the clipper. So let's firstly do the blade. That's pretty easy and straightforward. So just unscrew the blade. Okay, as soon as you take out those 2 screws, blade has come off. I'll keep those screws beside it, and then you've got the bottom cutting blade as well, so that's going to get cleaned as well. Now we've got the bail arm and the bracket that holds the bail arm in place, so we're going to take that off by unscrewing that screw just here. And what I'll try and do is I want to try and do this in a way where you can hopefully see what I'm doing. Fortunately with the Wahl Seniors it looks quite reflective on the camera because of the metal housing. Okay, so just unscrew that. Okay, there we are, another part off. And now once you've got that bail arm screwed out, as you can see it's quite dirty and gunky underneath there as well, so that'll need to be cleaned. Literally slide off the bracket. Okay, so that's going to get cleaned as well. Then you've got this plastic piece in here which holds the cutting blade. Now you should be able to, if I remember correctly. Oh, also, sorry, just before I forget, where you screw in the bail arm, there is actually a bolt, and there's a slot for a bolt. I don't know if you can just see that right there. So this bolt just slots inside that groove. Let me see if I can just get it back in. Okay, so that slots inside that groove, and then the bail arm screws through the hole into that bolt or little nut there. So once you've screwed this out, that will just drop out like that. Okay. So now you want to lift out this plastic piece just here. See if I can do this without it popping off on me. Okay, there we go. And as you can see, there's a lot of gunk underneath here as well. So that's going to want to be cleaned as I service these clippers. And you've got a lot of hair as well on this little spring as well. So just pop all of that there. Okay. Now, let me just, what I'm going to have to do, where it's quite gunky in there, I'm just going to brush out some of this hair that's in there, get rid of some of that. Okay. All right, so let's clean that up a bit. So now, as you can see, you've got another 2 screws here that you need to get out. Now with these 2 screws here, you are going to need a different tool. So you are going to need, I think these are, they're called T keys. Okay, so you can get them where they will fit into a ratchet screwdriver like this, or you can buy them separately like this with this Rolson tool that's got different size T keys. So I'm going to need to find the right one to be able to remove the screws to get out this plastic piece here. Okay, so let's see if I can quickly find the right size. Yep, got it in one. Brilliant. Okay, so now I'm just going to unscrew these screws here. It's just being a bit. Okay, got one out. Now to the other one. All right, so those are the two screws are now out. So I can now lift out this piece. Comes out nice and easy, and it's ready to be cleaned. Okay. So I try to keep everything in some kind of systematic order. Okay, and as you can probably see as well, there's kind of loads of hair in there that needs to be cleaned. Okay, so let's get now to the battery. So firstly, as always, if you're dealing with electrics, make sure the battery or the clipper is off before you start undoing the screws. So we're going to undo now. I hope you can see here. These two screws just here and here. So that will enable us to begin to start getting this central unit out and the battery unit out. Okay. So undo the first of these screws. I can just lift that out. Just one. Okay. And number two. Okay. So those are out now. Now what I can do is I can just simply, hope you can see this, I can just dislodge the bottom of the battery charger. So where you would plug in your charging cable to charge your Wahl Senior or your Wahl Magic Clip, can just lift that out, and then I can lift out this little circuit board which is sideways down. It's got a little groove for it. It's quite simple and straightforward to see. So there's a little groove there that slots in. Lift that up and you can lift that out. Okay, and then got the battery here that you can pop out like that on the side, and then you can lift out the actual on-off switch. It literally, as you could see there, it just kind of popped out. So you can lift that out and that can get cleaned as well. That looks quite dirty. So I'll just pop that over here. And now to get out the motor, there's a few screws here. So you've got one, hope you can see here, 1, 2, 3 screws. Okay, so I'm just going to get those screws off. And I'd say try and keep your screws together next to the part that you've used, that you've taken them out of, so that you remember where everything goes when you're doing this for the first time. Okay, just helps you make not to lose anything or put the wrong screws in the wrong places. Okay, so that's those 3 screws there. Now what I can do is lift out the motor. So if I just move, I just move these 3 screws for the lid, and just move those over there. Okay, so now there is your central motor, or your motor for the, I should say central, I mean just motor for your clippers. That's now out. Battery unit is also now out as well. Now if you wanted to change your battery and put in a new battery, you literally can, if I remember correctly, you can just unclip the battery unit. When you buy a new battery unit from Wahl, it comes with a relevant clip, so that you can just attach it straight into the circuit board, and away you go, you've changed your battery. So that's pretty straightforward. Okay, but yeah, all of this can take can do with getting it clean. Now, one thing that I don't have that is worth getting if you're going to do a deep clean of your clippers is you can get a compressed air canister, which will look similar to, say, like a cool care canister but shorter, and it will have a very long and thin nozzle, and it blows out really powerful compressed air, so you can really get in the nooks and crannies. If you didn't want to do, say, a deep clean like this, where you take everything apart, you can utilize that. But even if you are doing a deep clean like this, where you're dismantling the whole clipper and then you're cleaning everything out, then you can still use it for that as well. So that's worthwhile getting. But as you can see, in short space of time, been able to break down and dismantle the Wahl Senior, and now I'm going to clean all of this out and then put everything back together again. Okay, so I'll just speed up the video for this bit. Okay, now to clean the clippers, I'll just use my brush, and I'm going to just comb out, or brush out, sorry, I should say, all of the insides of the clipper, getting rid of all of that loose hair. Now for the blades, good. Blades are wiped down. Okay, now with my blades, what I'm going to do is just use some Cool Care. I'm going to give them a real good spray. Okay, leave those for a minute. Okay, so I'm just brushing everything down first. After I brush it down, then I'm just spraying it with some cool care, just to disinfect it. So you can see all of this just very gunky and dirty, which is not what you want. So yeah, it's important for us to keep our tools clean. If you look after your clippers will look after you. Well, that's what I believe, and that's my philosophy on things. So yeah, I think it's good to do this process every once in a while, just to clean out your clippers and allow them to operate and function to the best of their ability. And also from a sanitation perspective, I think it's also good. You know, we use our clippers a lot, and they're key to our job, so it's important that they're kept in good condition, and they will last a long while when we do this. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to just dry off the blades, and I'm going to re-oil them. Okay. So this is how I like to oil my blades when I'm kind of doing this kind of deep clean and servicing of them. I'll actually just apply some oil all over the blade. I just rub it in with my finger, so it's covering the whole blade. If you notice, whenever you buy a blade set from any brand, you'll find that the entire blade, when you take it out of the pack, is oily, and you can see the oil on it. They don't just do the couple of drops on the corner that we normally do after we've used it, but they actually oil the entirety of the blade. So I like to follow that same practice, and I just let the oil sit on the blade, and I do the same as well for the bottom cutting blade as well. So yeah, let that oil get all over the blade. Okay, now I'll just leave that to rest whilst I put the clipper back together again. So yep, let's reassemble this Wahl Senior now. Okay guys, and there you have it. So Wahl Senior now cleaned, dismantled, you could say serviced, and ready for use again. And it's interesting, I tend to find that after you do this kind of deep clean and service of them, it just feels like they're just reinvigorated and just like they almost feels like they've had more power again. I think all the hair that was kind of clogged down in there, once it's all cleaned out, the blade's completely re-oiled, etc. It just feels like a brand new machine again, ready to go and ready to be used. So yeah guys, hope you found that useful. If you did, please click that subscribe button, like and leave your comments. Take care. Peace.